Okay. Right, let's get into it. Just done 45 minutes on TikTok, and now I'm going to be here for about half an hour. Gemma, here we go, round two. Round two of live streaming. Let's get into it. Right, anyone that's going to stick around, I must really push the metric because I keep forgetting to do it, is the thumbs up button. If anyone's sticking around, let's get rid of this broom. I don't really like the look of the broom in the background. There we go. It's a bit better without the broom in the background. And I've had to put the heating on. It's a bit chilly. Right, how's it going? The person with the capture, anyone that has a username, again, I always kick my lives off with this. If you have a username, amazing, but I'd love to know your real name. It really is cold, and I've got to be honest, I'm glad I ended that TikTok live because I've had to stick the heating back on because it is, I am freezing. Yeah, it was getting chilly, so here we are. And I will continue the conversation of life by design. There we go. I'm kind of going to re-go over some topics of what we were talking about on TikTok, but we'll do it in a slightly different way. And also, I'm probably going to do this live as more based on questions that people might have. I did have a really good YouTube live stream yesterday, which was great. Really, really interactive and a lot of great questions. It's always nice for me if there's a lot of great questions as well. Very refreshing when there's good questions. Okay, right, Joel, how's it going, mate? Currently at work, wanting to escape. Joel, I haven't asked you, what is it you actually do then for work? And if I remember correctly, you're the guy in New Zealand, right? I know. You know, it's funny you say that because I actually, in the past, have felt the urge to just double tap my screen as well because of TikTok. It would be a lot easier, wouldn't it? And I actually can't do anything to my own screen either. There's also, unless I can, let me see if I can. I wonder if I can. Oh, I can make you as a moderator on here. Oh, there we go. Can manage block words and I also. Okay, there we go. Oh, you're a managing moderator. There we go. I haven't actually made any moderators, but you are the first on YouTube. There we go. So there is a standard moderator, or you can be a managing moderator. So there you go. You can take over my YouTube channel now, Gemma. Yo, how's it going? Love your vids, matey. Great, love that. And what was your name? Again, I just want to kick this live stream off with, if you have a username, just let me know what your actual name is, and then I will remember it. So if you ever come back onto the live, I can call you by your name. By the way, Gemma, can anyone hear the heating in the background, or is it all right? Ahmed, there we go. How's it going, man? I must admit, I'm not experienced with YouTube. Thanks, Aaron. I think I'll leave it to you, though. Well, I don't really... Well, there's not too much naughtiness going on on YouTube, so I don't really have to keep an eye on it too much. But if there is, we must be ready to strike. Always listening to your videos on the way to my part-time role. Managed to reduce from full-time to part-time while struggling. Part-time side hustle. Business sustaining my household while studying. Great. Love that. Awesome. Oh, there we go. Look, you've even got a fancy highlighted blue. Yeah, I've got to have the heating on a little bit. It was getting too cold down here in my Swedish log cabin. Someone came on the other day and said, are you sitting in a shed? And I said, no, I'm not sitting in a shed. This is a Swedish log cabin. And you want a little tour? No. All around here. This is where I used to film a lot, actually. And then that's out. That leads to the garden. But it's about 3.5. It's about 3.5 meters by 3.5 meters. So it's a good size. How dare they come on and say I'm sitting in a shed? And this is right at the bottom of my garden, by the way. But yeah, I used to film in here. This is where I keep all my filming stuff as well. Yo, Declan, how's it going, man? Hi, Aaron, great fan of your channel. From Ireland. What part of Ireland are you from? Hey, mate, love your videos. Would you say starting my own electrical business is escaping the rat race, as I still be working most of the day / week? Well, I would say... So everyone who's joining, great to have you here. Oh, by the way, so yeah, Lewis, I'm going to answer your question. If you are sticking around or you've got any value... we've just come straight from TikTok where you double tap the screen. But for YouTube, if you could just hit the thumbs up button wherever it is on your screen, that would be great, because I think that's just supporting this live by the thumbs up button. So if you could all do that, I'd really appreciate that, because I think that is the supporting metric of the live. And by all means, you know, again, ask questions and all that good stuff. Right, Lewis, my answer is yes, of course. I think it would be a good idea, because obviously it's an industry that you are interested in and you obviously have experience in. But all I would say is, with the electrical business, you are right, you'd probably be hands-on, right? How long is it going to take you to get off the tools is the question. So several things to think about. How good's your marketing? How good are you at bringing on B2B contracts? Or, you know, how good's your sales abilities? Are you in a position that you could potentially outsource and bring on other contractors, or, you know, maybe part-time or full-time, you know, contracted staff? So that's obviously based on your financial position. And maybe what kind of... what is different about your electrical services? How do you compete with the market that you're already in? What's going to make you stand out? What's the brand of the business? What is your personal brand like as the company owner? All of these are going to be factors to whether your electrical service company, which is a physical business, so you're in a profit and loss because you'll have margins that you'll need to meet, or what is going to separate you and make sure that you get great contracts that are long-standing, sustainable. And then all I would say is, if you have a look at like the bald builders, the pool guy, the cheeky carpenter, Spudman, Spudbros, Spudfather, all of these, you know, physical businesses, they've done incredibly well because of their marketing and their sales abilities. So the answer is yes. I just think you really need to probably think about that. It's a great setup. I haven't got an idea of what type of business to start. Hate the corporate world. Walk out on lots of jobs due to the BS that comes with it. Okay, so I suppose my first question is to you, what would you do if you could? What do you love? Would you have a passion that you would love to fulfill and turn into, you know, potentially something that you could monetize? Aaron, have decided to start building an AI negotiation system for Facebook to flip phones as a start. Thoughts? I'd probably need to know more about what that is to give you my answer. I mean, look, anything with AI, software, again, dashboards, smart logic is great, but maybe you'll probably have to tell me a little bit more about it. Do I like football? I don't mind football. Yeah, I used to love it, but I don't play too much of it now. I mean, I did play the other week, and my son's big into football. I'm currently working freelance customer service, but I need bigger and better plans. Oh. Oh, yo, hey man, yeah, that won't be me. Yeah, dude, unfortunately there's loads of fake accounts of me, so yeah, I don't message anyone privately, so yeah, it won't be me. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, I don't think being an introvert or an extrovert has anything to do with whether you could be, wealthy and financially well off. So yeah, of course, the answer is yes. Lewis, pleasure. I so desperately want to leave corporate, Jesus knows. It will happen soon. Beauty, wellness industry is booming. Competition is serious here in Cape Town. Again, marketing separates you. So just, marketing is the make or break of a business really now, because we're not geographically tied when it comes to our marketing ability, which makes the competition very fierce when it comes to clients that are physically coming to you. You're in a health and wellness business, so people are going to physically come to you, but your marketing still really has to compete. So, what would make someone want to fly in from another country to come and see you to have, whatever it is that you do? That will be down to your marketing. It's the same for like chiropractors. Look, great example, chiropractors. I can't think of some of the ones that I watch. The ring dinger guy from Las Vegas. Has anyone seen him where he wraps a towel around your neck? He's he's like a southern guy from Texas or Las Vegas, I'm not sure. The ring dinger. People fly all over the world to go, from all over the world to go see him because his marketing's great. All he is a chiropractor, but he does very well and gets big clients, big public names, and has now become an absolute household in the chiropractor industry because his marketing is great. Yo Lee, how's it going? Yo dude, hope life is going well, man. Finally caught the live stream. I'm here. Yeah, and good to have you here as well. I've been off for 3 months now, handed another sick note. All I got back was okay. Not how have you been, your health and stuff. Typical. Very. I mean, can't expect anything less, because at the end of the day, the way that they're going to see it is you're costing them money. And that's really all it comes down to. You're costing them money. If you're not there serving, turning the cogs, basically you're a problem. You're so right about marketing. When you can sell yourself as a product or a brand, like you say, man, then you get the word of mouth and people share your vids and content. Yeah, and then it's like what is it? Clip farming. Let me have a look for your username. Oh, there we go. Got it. Cool. I'm thinking of helping small businesses with their socials or a bit of SEO. I'm not a tech geek, but enjoy learning it, and I thought, why not try it and help small businesses as I learn? Great, love the mindset. I love the that forward thinking of what you could do in an industry that, especially around SEO and consulting and teaching others or improving businesses and all that kind of stuff is great. The only thing I would get you thinking about is, if someone's going to work with someone, and I've learnt this as well, no one wants to be the guinea pig. So here's my advice is, I would probably do some free work for 2-3 people, do a great job, deliver on your promise, grab those as testimonials, set up a really nice aesthetically looking brand that looks professional, clean, a company and a brand and an individual, which is you, that someone would love to work with. Have a format in terms of how you want this image of your brand and your business to look like, a color theme, have it looking very aligned, and then take those testimonials from the 3 people that you've worked with, collect all the data, put it into easy to read analytics of what you've been able to do from taking them from point A to point B, and then use that as leverage to bring on hopefully your first paying client, and then rinse and repeat that process. Double down on your marketing, collect data, build a data room. Yeah, and it's just about starting, you know, and learn as you go, because you know, there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be hurdles, there's going to be rejection, it's going to be tough. You're going to work long nights, you know, that all comes part and parcel, and stick with it, build a network, learn from other people. So it's a journey. I can promise you that it's a real journey, but it's worth doing, and it's super fulfilling. And when you do start making your own money, you're going to realize that you're going to eventually live a life that is very free and one by design. And yeah, I was just on TikTok. Yeah, we were live streaming on there, and now we're on here. It's all about character and who you were, almost like a kid. Did you take risks or play it safe? Yeah, exactly this. I love risks. Yeah, look, taking no risks is the biggest risk of all. We should be pushing boundaries. We should be stepping outside our comfort zone. We should not be settling for Groundhog Day. You do not want to fall in the herd with the sheep. You want to be the shepherd. You want to be the wolf. You really want to be exploring and making your own adventures and seeing what's on the other side of the fence. You know, no one sits on a fence because it hurts your bum. The grass is green where you water it, yes, but the grass is much greener on a side of freedom and control. And that control and freedom starts when you start adding new strings to your bow, you develop. I just spoke about this on TikTok, but when you improve your life on a 360, which is your health, so your physical self, your mental self, your social self, your personal, professional, financial, and you really improve all of that, everything else it will fall all into place. It really will. So look, as human beings, we shouldn't be settling for doing the same thing until 70 years old. It is not normal. I don't care what anyone says. If you think, or if anyone on this live thinks that it is normal to give away 40 to 50 hours every week for 49 weeks of the year on average, for 46 to 52 years of your life, you need your head checking. I promise you, you need your head checking, because you have been totally and utterly brainwashed. So let's start moving towards a life where actually we control everything about it. We do what we want, with who we want, where we want, and on our terms, by our values and our standards, with our boundaries in place. Being authentic as well along the way. Right, let me get into this, because I'm only going to do about another 15 minutes. Starting YouTube channel, I started 4 years ago. Only now, the past year, it's grown, which encourages me to keep going. Well, I can tell you now, as someone who takes YouTube very serious for my personal brand, elevating my businesses, please do take it very, very seriously. Do you think a lot of toxic managers take out their frustration on their employees because they believe they had failed in trying to make their own dreams? Absolutely. Just like teachers. A lot of teachers are like that. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Hannah. Yes, so the answer is 100% yes. Have you seen that thing on YouTube about the guy on a square? Yeah, I do. And then he gets promoted to the bigger square. Yeah, it's the truth, and it's very scary. Yeah, metrics. People love it when I do the metrics. Plenty more videos with the metrics yet to come. Does make me laugh. I don't know why people love that so much, but it's actually gone down the right treat on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Because I think we all can hear one of our managers in the past talking and obsessing about metrics rather than the people, right? Yeah, I like that. That aligns with my thoughts. You just gave me a bit more confidence. Thanks for that. Great. What areas of business are thriving most currently? It's hard to see what's doing well. Well, you know, look, I'm no expert, but I wouldn't pick a certain type of area. I think what separates really great businesses now is, if we talk about a grown-up business, so like my events company, my finance business, my tech company, I call that a grown-up business. So that is something that could be multi-millions, if not in the Bs, hopefully, especially with my tech company. That is solving a huge industry problem, a huge market problem. But if you want to sort of drop in terms of smaller problems, well, you can do that with your personal brand, and that can really be about anything that you see that is a common problem. Like in the workplace, I have built an entire brand slash business around common problems in the workplace by sharing my thoughts and opinions and how to overcome that, and then go on to build something sustainable in the online world so that you can just replace an income. So it's not an empire problem that I'm solving, but it's on a level that suits my life. So I would really tap into actually what makes you tick, like what drives you to do something, what problem do you want to solve, what do you actually get enjoyment out of, what could you talk about all day long that would give you fulfillment and purpose, and that you want to help other people do that because you know it's a real world problem. And then look towards that and then figure out, well, how can I commercialize that? How can I position myself? I've done videos on this on my YouTube if you want to go deeper with that. But those are two very important words. How do you position yourself around the thing that you love and that you're passionate about? And then number two, how do you commercialize it? Which means, how do you open yourself up for larger revenue? How do you open up yourself for paid collaboration, brand deals, corporate sponsorships, corporate collaborations? How can you build a grown-up business off the small problem that you started fixing? I hope that wasn't a bombardment of information, but hopefully that actually answered your question. I appreciate the videos. Give me a good insight already. Have enough to start thinking and looking for ways out. Great. Can you go over the accounts one should have set up if thinking of resigning and going all in? Well, just very basics. Emergency fund, at least 6 to 12 months. I'd have a floating fund of at least 1 month of salary, and then a maintenance fund, which would cover off your house, cooker, MOT, tyres on the car, a fridge. Maintenance means anything that would go wrong in your house, that fund covers that. Your emergency fund is purely to pay bills. So in a maintenance fund, I would have enough to replace a fridge, a cooker, an MOT, 4 brand new tyres. Again, I did a video on this on my YouTube with the exact number that I think people should consider based on their circumstances. And then a floating fund is basically for thinking time. If you sacked your boss in the heat of the moment and it was a bit fiery, and maybe you thought better of it when you got home, or your partner says to you, do you think you should have quit so quickly? You have a month of cash ready to use before you have to tap into your emergency fund, potentially maintenance. So you have a month of thinking time. So there you go. Hopefully that answered your question. Declan, pleasure. Right. That's the way you say it. Pleasure. A bit smaller might be a product or a service. Yeah, so look, we're in a great world right now in terms of opportunity. I've done this on videos before, but no one really has an excuse to hate their job anymore. No one should be going into a job that they hate, and if they do and they still don't say that they have a way out of it, it's typically because they know they've been so bad with money that they are quite literally trapped in the situation that they are. Heavy in debt, over leveraged, live above their means, and they are crippled by their poor financial decisions. If that isn't the case for you, no one in their right mind should be going into a job that they don't like. Because if you are in that position and it's damaging your health, look, again, there's such a deeper meaning. That's where I am. Well, look, we'll go into it a little bit further, and maybe there's some food for thought on steps that you can take. What was your name? Is your name Jatan or Jayton, or what is your name? And it's not the end of the world. If you are in that position, you're really going to have to sit down and get to grips with your finances. I mean, the immediate thing to do is reduce all of your expenses. The other hard decision that you're probably going to have to make is, if your job is affecting your mental health and you snap at your children, you snap at your partner because you're stressed, you are thinking about your job on a Sunday, so the only day off you really have at the weekend is Saturday because Sunday is just full of dread. If that is you, you're going to need to sit down and make some very serious, calculated decisions about your money, about your lifestyle, about what you and your partner, or if it's just you, about what kind of life are you living and what changes need to be made immediately. I mean, drastic changes would need to be made, and that's called sacrificing. That's called delayed gratification. You have to make some incredibly hard decisions and cut things off in order to grow, right? And move forward. So, yeah, that's exactly you. So, you've obviously got some hard decisions to make, you know. So, look, there's a way out of everything. There's a way out of everything. It's just that the more severe your situation is, the more serious you have to be about the things that you're willing to do. That's just the truth of it. Appreciate it, Rob. Gotta love all the feel lucky you have a job, idiots. Yeah, well, it pains me, believe me. I mean, you should see some of the stuff I see in the comments where people say, I think the one that frustrates me the most is where people say it's a privilege to have a job. That does get on my wick, because how brainwashed do you have to be to actually believe that it's a privilege to have a job? I mean, I had a guy the other day, which I did, I did the YouTube short actually, and I put it on all my social media, where a guy said he doesn't like to go on holiday because he doesn't like leaving his co-workers with all of his work, and that he couldn't relax on holiday knowing that he'd given all of his co-workers his work. What? What on earth is going, or what is not going on in that guy's life? No partner, clearly no kids, no hobbies, no passions, no drive, no purpose in life. I mean, at what point in your life do you sit in Tenerife or in Mallorca or in Ibiza in 30-40 degree sun and think, my poor co-workers at work picking up a few extra tasks? I mean, honestly, some of these people are nuts. You're supposed to switch job every few years. Whatever you do, don't look for a career or any jobs if you're stuck in the system. Hey bud, can't say enough. I appreciate your videos, because what you say I agree with. Pleasure's all mine. He would be replaced in a second. He really would. He really would. Literally took mental health leave for 2 weeks because I couldn't bear it. Not because I actually had an issue, just trying gym, etc., trying to figure out. Yeah, and look, that's absolutely fine. I am. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Again, we've been brought up to think, if you have a day off, oh, shame on you. If you have a day off from work, shame on you. No, not shame on you. If you need some time to gather your thoughts and reevaluate your situation, no, good on you. Good on you for having the gonads to actually say, do you know what? I'm actually going to take 2-3 days off, and I'm going to think about where my life's going and what needs to change. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's very productive. One thing I can tell you is when you leave a 9-to-5 job and I worked 10 hours a day, although I'd already built a business. So for anyone that doesn't know, I moved into finance, and I built this unregulated brokerage, and I worked a 10-hour shift. And although I was very good, I've always been very good at time management. But when I left my job, I actually remember sitting in here, because in here I had it set up like an office, right? And I did. I remember thinking, oh my God, I've got all this time. Like I'm not in a job. I've got literally every day to myself to carry on building, my own business and my dreams and my family's dreams. And I was a little bit like, I should be working every hour, because that's, you know, in the job, you're there for 10 hours and you're meant to be doing things for pretty much the whole time that you're there. But what I've come to realize is, like, I will go out for a walk in the country for an hour and a half by myself, with my son, with my family, you know, whatever, my other half. Just thinking. And thinking time is actually very productive for a business owner and someone who runs their own life. Like, I went to the gym twice today. So I did my cardio at I did my cardio at 6:15 this morning. And then I went back and I did weights at about 1:30, 1:45 today. So I've been to the gym twice today. But when I'm in the gym, I do a lot of thinking. So I'm actually still working. And that is the difference. You're so much more productive, but with less time actually doing physical work. Just thinking is working. So if you need time off from your job to think, there's nothing wrong with that. Morris, how's it going? Right. A new audience is watching your video. Her name is... I'm always a bit skeptical about those. When you earn a small amount of money online, it proves it can be done. Yeah, let me share something with you. Let me I'm going to share something that's just come through on my... let me just... Or has it come through on here as well? Let's have a look. All right, let me just screen cap my phone, because something's just come through, and then I'll share it with you. Okay, right. So this literally, just as another example. So this was 17 minutes ago. So look, and just going back to... I'm going to have to cover up his email. So I need to cover up that guy's email. Do you know what? Hang on, let me just... Data protection and all of that lot. Let me just... data protection. Right. There we go. I've covered up his email. So, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. So 17 minutes ago, 1,200 quid, and then earlier today at 120.99 £120.99. So yeah, when you start learning systems and workflows and how to generate income through your personal brand, through the online world, it's incredibly scalable. And then you can start, like I said, it's mad to think that people are comfortable only being paid 12 times of the year over 365 days. I mean, it's mad. Think about it. You're only paid, or the typical payment system is 12 times within a year. That's not a lot of times being paid. So yes, Declan, you're absolutely right. When you earn your first small amount of money online, you realise that the power doesn't have to be given to an employer. Again, going back to my videos, you don't need a job, you need income. Good evening. My old job had people getting in 2 hours early. Love your content. When they call you a superstar, run for the hills, they think they own you. Oh yeah, I've heard that before. You're a superstar. It's been 30 years since I last worked for an employer. I worked hard and was hand to mouth. I now run my own creative business, own a farmhouse, small holding, outright, keep animals, grow food. Love that. Les, I love that, man. Appreciate you sharing that. Morris, I'm good, man. Hey, just found you. Cool, good to have you here. Any advice on how to actually start? Well, yeah, I've got full tutorials on my YouTube. So just type in Aaron Knightley tutorials and you'll see all 3 of them. Or find one of my tutorials and in the description we'll lead you on to all the other tutorials. They're all over an hour long, hour and a half. So honestly, that's my quickest answer, and you'll get so much information from the tutorials. And they're all free. I've been doing heaps of work on my own business model and expect to launch within the next couple of months. Amazing. Hey, Natalie, to you in America, tired of the corporate world. What's the plan then, Natalie? How did I get into finance? No, I didn't go to college, didn't go to university. I've told this one a few. I've told this one a few times, but I got into finance randomly. To be honest with you, I didn't plan it. I'm actually really bad at maths. I did not. Yeah, I did not ever plan to get into finance. But the long story short, because I've only because I've told this so many times, but I did a couple of property ventures with an old business partner of mine. This was when I was in my early 20s, right? I saved up just enough money to put some, basically like sweat equity, a small amount, skin in the game. And I was invited to a place called Mayfair in London, which I actually ended up having an office in Berkeley Square House. But at the time, in my early 20s, I didn't even know that a Mayfair was a place. That's how very little that I knew about anything else other than a job. Anyway, I went to this meeting. He was raising 200,000. An old business partner of mine. They were talking about this money like it was nothing, which was very confusing to me. Coming from a family that didn't have money, I was a little bit like couldn't believe what I was listening to. Long story short, the broker who was raising the money from investors at the time was taking a commission for raising that 200,000. Now he was going to be taking around about 15 to 17% on that raise. Now this guy was incredibly well off. He was only in his sort of mid-late 20s, again, probably 27, 28 tops. And I asked him, how do you do what you do? Like, what is it you actually do? And he said, I raise venture capital, junior and senior debt. And I said, well, how do you do that? Like, you know, how are you driving that car? He drove this lovely Aston Martin. And he said, well, I basically raise money from very wealthy people and then I connect them with projects. From that moment, I went away and I learned how to raise money. I started off with a small company as just as an independent, you know, just as like basically freelance. You know, I wasn't on a contract. It was a commission only basis in my spare time. I became very good at that. I took on my own contracts, raising private investment for different companies. Long story short, I did very well in my 20s, raising venture capital, different types of equity for startups. And that's how I got into finance. Yeah, you don't need job. You don't need a job. You need income. And there's a million ways to make income. Yeah, sure. Ask away. Yeah, content creation is a business as well. You have to absolutely treat content creation just the same as you would a business. I just got a reply to this very quickly. 2 seconds. Right. Well, I've been on loads of podcasts, so gosh, I've been on loads. One you probably want to watch is if you I can get it up on my phone. I've been on loads and I actually used to run my own podcast. So let's go on. Let's see. One great podcast that I was on. Here you go. So this is a good podcast if you want. It's called The Money Gains. I'm giving him a bit of promotion here, but it's called The Money Gains Podcast.
Is still number 3 out of all the episodes he's ever done.
Oh, hang on a minute. Who's number 1?
Yeah, Andrew Craig.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know him.
Yeah, we'll let him on. Andrew, you can have that one. That's a really good podcast.
I wanted to get you back on because, one, we've never done it properly in person. We did it online back in the day before we did video. But I think
it's tailored to the way that I wanted it. And, you know, and here we are.
You've done extremely well. I mean, audience growth on TikTok and Instagram.
So that's called, yeah, but there's loads. I think I've done something like 27 podcast appearances now. So there's quite a few out there. But yeah, go check that one out. That's a good one. called the Money Gains Podcast. There is one other which is pretty good, which is or Emma Mills. This one was quite a good podcast. Let me share this one. So her channel is Emma Mills, and then it's this one here. So like I have a whole video. The news picks it up, and they're very. Aaron Knightley, welcome. But that's a good one. Fun stuff. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for coming today. We were introduced by a mutual friend, Jason Greystone. So yeah. And the more I have delved into. There's loads. Is it wise to stop viewing wealthy people online who are born wealthy? Yeah, I would. Yeah, it's good that you're aware of that. Yes, I would remove them off your social media. I actually don't follow anyone on any of my social medias that I know that were born into wealth, or that their message I really don't want to see. I actually struggle with people who preach and don't openly admit that they come from money. So I coming from a family that didn't have money, I do struggle with people who aren't admitting that they were born into money, and that does irritate me as someone who has built everything that I have from zero. So I do think it's a wise idea to be mindful what you consume and cut off people who are too far away. So yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't, no, because obviously the free discovery calls, it's not just like a chat with me, it's actually to work out whether we can work together. So obviously if you're unemployed, people wouldn't be able to work with me. So yeah. But yeah, I do struggle with, I did some Instagram stories about this, that there's one particular guy, I won't go into it now, but I'm raising angel investment at the moment, and it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, I'm very well connected, and it's still tough to raise angel investment. Now, there's a guy who has raised 2.7 million, and he did it in just over 7 days. 2.7 million in angel investment in 7 days is a record. I mean, that is an insane amount of money to raise from the pockets of angels in just over 7 days. When the average angel raise of pre-seed capital can take up to 6 months on average. Now, what frustrates me about this particular man, and I'm obviously not going to name drop, but he comes from a very well-off family. He is in very well-connected circles. I'm sure his family made calls. Business connections would have been put in contact. But yet on social media, he doesn't tell people that his family were incredibly rich. He doesn't say anything about it. And one thing that's really important for me is that I document the good, the bad, the ugly. And as we build our tech company, myself and my business partner, Ben, we said that we would document all the good, the bad, everything about the journey of raising the investment, starting the tech company, the hiring of our team members, the bloopers, like we have a lot of blooper reels on our Instagram page for the tech company, the mission, like we share all of it. This guy who raised 2.7 million just said, we raised 2.7 million for the company. We did it in just over 7 days. Whereas what he should be saying is that I was born into a very wealthy family. My mum and dad made loads of phone calls and we got the money. I don't follow him, but because of the algorithm, his stuff is still pushed onto my page, but I actually still do watch some of his stuff related around what he's doing tech-based, because it's still relevant to me. Anyway, I just went totally off on one there, but... Oh, mother. My mother joined, but I missed it. Yeah, by all means. Yeah, by all means. a advanced holy moly moment. I left my employed job and started up my own plumbing business. I know you are very anti-trade. No, I'm not anti-trade. Gosh, no, I'm not anti-trade. I'm just very pro less logistical things, moving parts, physical stuff. If you can make it work in the trade business, which many people can, if their marketing is creme de la creme, you can make such a great business. So no, look, Dan, I wish you all the best, mate. But yeah, definitely not anti-trade. I just get asked a lot of questions around, would I start a physical trade business, and it just wouldn't be for me. But then I've never been in the trade, so but as long as you're great at marketing and you could build a great brand around your company, you could have one of the best trade businesses out there. And there's such, again, it's an industry that has such a gap. Like, no one relies on checker trade anymore. So if you could have the most incredible Instagram and TikTok like the bald builders do, there is actually a plumber. There's a oh god, what is it? There's a plasterer who's huge on TikTok. There's a wood chopper that's huge on TikTok. There's a lot of trades that have done very well with their personal brand, and as a result, that has generated them huge clientele and big amounts of revenue. The pool guy is by far one of the best. By far one of the best case studies. Yeah, Declan, look, feel free, Declan, to, it's probably best to drop like a DM on Instagram. But yeah, look, Declan, I'll check it out for sure. Yeah, I don't know if my mum's still here. She might have gone by now. She pops in on some of my lives. Hi, Aaron. The 60-year-old learning the corporate is a scam after putting up with 40 years. I try not to swear on my live, so I won't swear. I am learning there is another way. It's never too late. It's never too late. Remember, the runway gets a little bit shorter, just means that you need a little bit more thrust. You need to be a bit more calculated in your movements and what you do. But no, you're absolutely right. It's never too late. Look what the Grime Gran has done. If anyone, go onto Instagram or TikTok and check out the Grime Gran. She's managed by my friend's talent agency company, Connect Management, by Benji Leslie. And what is she? Grime Gran is what, about 84 years old? Interviewed Tom Cruise, Kim Kardashian, Will Smith, Ryan Reynolds. She has huge brand deals with Pepsi, Sony. Who else? There's just loads. I mean, she'll be making an absolute fortune at like 84 years old. It's never too late. Oh God. Any nonsense like that coming onto my live. I don't talk about politics or anything to do with the government, so don't bother asking me any of that on the live. What an absolute sausage. Yeah, I will be doing another day in the life. I don't mind filming them. They're just they're a bit of a ball ache to film. Because the problem is, it's a day in the life video. Do you know the only annoying thing about filming the day in the life video is you're literally stopping and starting your day. If I'll have a meeting, I've got to record a bit of my meeting. If I'm on the phone, record a bit of that. Or if I'm going to the gym, record a bit of that. Stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. I'll film a bit in the car, then I'll film when I get out. I'll film when I go to the park or whatever, or go to the cafe. So yeah, I don't mind doing them. There will be a new one incoming, but I'll probably only do one, maybe like one every couple of months, one every 2-3 months, because they are probably the worst type of video to film. I filmed another country walk and talk video, which will be out later this week, so make sure you all check that out. That'll be... I enjoy doing the country walks because I can just talk. So yeah, check out that video. I'm also going to do another video down here at the bottom of the garden where I light the bonfire. So that'll be a good one. Yeah, Morris, absolutely. Short form's the way. Declan, pleasure. Well, I'm actually going to go now because I'm getting so cold, because I didn't want to put the other heater on because the other heater gets too loud, and I'm going to go have a bath now. So I'm actually going to go. I'll watch Rich House, Poor House swap. It's crazy how some people live. It is, and I was invited onto that channel. How do I create systems? Well, it's a mixture of obviously CRM systems in terms of making sure, you know, you pick up a good CRM. So that's the first thing that you need. Learning how to do your own workflows, like the systems behind workflows and certain triggers, what happens when people do certain actions or when they click on certain things, what happens with a workflow, how people are filling out data forms and stuff like that. You just, well, number one, go get a CRM system and just learn how to use that, and then from there you can integrate it to your social media. You can then obviously set up automated messages like aftercare for people and all that good stuff. So I haven't, no, I haven't been. Gemma, well, thanks for joining. Gemma, I feel like we've been through it tonight. You've been on TikTok, now you've done the YouTube as well. Okay, look, everyone, I'm going to go because I want to go have a bath now, and I'm going to settle down for the evening. So I will bid you all a farewell. I'm going to go have a protein shake as well before I go to bed. Bit of Optimum Nutrition, hydrolyzed ISO whey with creatine. There we go. Get my words out. Yeah, it's hydrolyzed ISO whey with a bit of creatine. And then I'm going to go take all my tablets, all my vitamin tablets. Yeah, I do. So I have a video which was no gatekeeping of all the lessons that I've learned on YouTube, and simply search on my channel. The video is called, it's a really good video as well, teaching you about YouTube. The video is called YouTube, How to Grow Your Channel, No Gatekeeping, and it was filmed 3 months ago. So those are all the lessons I wish I had done many, many years ago. Because there is a method to this madness, believe it or not. So, and on that note, with my blue lens glasses, I will say farewell. I will do another live at some point. I don't know when, potentially tomorrow when I do my cardio. So until then, I wish, if you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. That'd be great. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do before I go. Let's just screen cap this one. A TikTok. Okay, everyone, I'll see you soon.